Well, good evening and welcome to Senior Info, and Kelly and I are here again tonight. We'll be here again next week, but
Yes.
next week we got some guests coming.
We do. We're excited to have some of my staff join us, other staff members. Last time I was here, it was 2 weeks ago, we
Yeah.
had one of my bus drivers, Patrick, and so next week I will have additional staff members here, and we'll continue to share exciting news related to the senior center.
Patrick was a great guest.
Yes, he was.
The hour flew by.
He enjoyed it too. Yeah. He's still talking about it.
Well, he could send word back to Iowa, and some of the people that he has over there could watch it right on the internet.
I believe, now, I'm not sure where his sister lives. I know she's out of state. She might be in the area where he grew up, and she did watch it.
Ah, there you go. See,
Yes, and she was impressed with her brother.
the miracle of modern technology.
Right.
Like
Yes.
I say, you know, we used to be a local access, now we're a worldwide access.
Which is wonderful.
Yes.
Yes.
But we got some short pictures we want to show you because Kelly is very happy. She's finally got an outdoor area to set up in. And also, now, are you going to allow some of your people to come in?
So starting September 14th, I'm hoping that I get approval from both the town manager and Board of Health to go ahead and open our doors on a limited schedule. And that will allow for people to come in for one-to-one appointments because we're approaching fuel season. So people
Yes.
that utilize the SMOC program will need assistance with their renewals or if they want to become a new client. Then we also have folks that need help with, you know, if they're turning 65, they're going to need information about their Medicare. So services and programs related to helping people in that way. In terms of social programs, that we're going to really keep very limited. But with this exciting new addition to the senior center, we're going to be able to utilize some outdoor space to be able to allow some social time. And I'm thinking we might do, for instance, we have a book club. Our book club could meet out on this
Outside while
in this
weather's
outdoor
nice.
area. But also I'm thinking informally. A lot of our people that come to our center have continued to meet outside of the center. They'll meet at an outdoor space somewhere within the town. Well, now
Right.
they can come to their very own center
Yes.
and use our outdoor space. So through the efforts of many people, and I could go down the list of names, we have, as we had just explained to you, made this great addition to the front of our senior center. And within a day and a half, this project started Wednesday afternoon. As of right now, it is almost, I would say, 90% complete.
Oh, that's amazing how fast they go.
It was a crew of at least 10 guys.
Oh, wow.
And they just were focused and barely took a break. I was just so impressed with
And
the
they
work.
donated this, right? The service,
So
the labor.
Unilock out of Uxbridge
Oh, he
donated the
the
pavers. And the landscaper that is doing the install donated a chunk of money toward the final cost.
Oh,
So it's really not costing us what it would normally cost the average person.
Right.
So the Friends of Northbridge Elders, in collaboration with a nonprofit, it's the David Moradian Foundation, had awarded us with a large gift last year. We had put that aside to put it toward a kitchen renovation. However, when the pandemic arrived,
no use for the kitchen now.
not at the moment,
Right.
so we thought we had this opportunity to put in this space that we can use now. Why not use that money that he so graciously gave to us?
Well, I mean, and it works during the pandemic because here's an outdoor area that you can meet in,
Exactly.
which is allowed.
It is allowed, and it's enough room that people can be distanced and yet bring my folks back together. They're just
Yeah.
so isolated at this point. And
Yeah, that's, 'cause, a lot of people realize this, the senior center is actually a social place.
it sure is.
And for some seniors who are lonesome, especially if they're widowed, or if they didn't have any relatives around,
Right.
I mean, this was their family.
You got it. Absolutely. And it's one thing to talk on the phone, which we do find when people call the center
Yeah.
now. We're on the phone for a while because people are very chatty.
Yes,
Um,
well, they're just looking for someone to talk to.
Exactly. But having that face-to-face
Yes.
interaction is just so important.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
We're very excited.
Yeah. Can we show those pictures, Aaron?
So
Okay,
that's the view from my office.
Yeah,
And I was just so excited. You can see that they had just arrived and they were about to start digging the area. So I took that picture, and then this is as they were progressing. And as I said, they arrived about 2 o'clock on Wednesday, worked straight through till, I'm sure they were there well after I left. And then they arrived this morning at shortly before 8:30, and they worked right until, I would say, probably close to 5 o'clock today.
well, the prep work is pretty extensive.
It is.
Not just a matter of taking the dirt out.
No,
You've got to level that perfectly. and-
absolutely. And they had multiple wheelbarrows that they took out. So there's the finished product.
Doesn't that look great, huh?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's just so exciting.
Now, you have some furniture you're going to put out there?
So
or-
we had purchased a table. Oh, that's the kind of the front view there. So from the road that's
Yes.
looking into the front of the building. So we had purchased a nice table from, is it Tractor Supply?
Oh,
146.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a great table, nice sturdy table. So we do have that. We may purchase another one, and they have the holes in it so you can put the umbrella in.
right.
And we might do a couple of other chairs, but again, it's a great, huge space that we will definitely utilize.
And, even for the staff, a place to have lunch.
That's what my bus driver Patrick said today. He was all excited. He's the one that took the little video that we were unable to show, but he said that. He said, now we can have a place to sit and have our lunch. And I
Right.
said, well, when do we ever take lunch?
Yeah, that's the
But
other
now we
thing.
will, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you can sit down and have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea.
Or I can meet with somebody.
Yes.
Instead of having them come into the building.
Yeah.
Right now, it's, probably more comfortable for folks if we could meet outside, weather permitting.
You just gave me a good segue. I wanted to talk to you about. You mentioned SMOC on the heating program,
Yes.
but you can also use SMOC if someone's looking for housing, right?
Housing, correct. Yes,
Especially elderly, because they do have a program
they do.
where you pay a percentage of your income.
That's right. Yes.
So, and someone who's living on Social Security, if they didn't make a lot of money when they were working, is not getting a big check.
No,
And if they gotta dish out, in some cases, probably 100% of it to rent, that can be tough.
it can be very difficult. And I often say to people, your senior center has so many resources, and people don't realize the capability that we have to help these folks so they're not
Yes.
struggling. And there are, as I said, there are resources. The SMOC, as you said, with housing, we also have our local Northbridge Housing Authority.
Yes.
We also have other senior housing in town, and so there are a lot of options.
And you can aid them if they need to get higher on the list because they're in a difficult situation.
Exactly. If they're in a situation that they could be potentially homeless,
Yep.
evicted, and what else helps them is if it's for housing in town, if they are a resident of the town, if they have a veteran status, that can kind of push them up on the list as well.
Yes, and some seniors say, I don't want to go to welfare office. Well, they're not going to welfare,
No.
you're going to the senior center, and because we honor our seniors.
And what I say to people very often, they have worked hard all their lives.
Yes.
Very, very hard. And so it is, if they are entitled to these benefits, they should take the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And if you didn't have a high-paying job, you had kids, you didn't have a chance to save a lot of money.
Or if you found yourself in a difficult situation financially.
Yeah.
I mean, things happen. We know.
Yeah,
Life
anything could happen.
happens. Right. Yeah. So
And
there are.
Medicare, I don't care who you are. You hit 65, you're on Medicare.
Right.
You have no alternative. I have people say, oh, I don't need that because I have insurance. Doesn't matter. I don't care if you're working and you've got insurance where you work. It doesn't matter. You are on Medicare.
You are on it. Yes.
Now, if you have other insurance, they can be the supplemental,
Exactly.
but they will not be the first.
No.
It's Medicare.
Those Medicare monies are it doesn't matter what you have, those Medicare monies are always, they're
Yes.
there, yeah.
So you should
Yeah.
know that, and when you go to the doctor or you go to the hospital or wherever, you're gonna make sure that you tell them you are on Medicare, here's your Medicare number, because your insurance will not pay a lot of it,
Right,
because they're secondary.
exactly. Yes,
In
correct.
fact, in some cases, you get more coverage, because where your primary insurance might not have covered some things, Medicare does,
Right,
and then they pick up the difference. So
Exactly.
you get a little better coverage.
definitely,
But
definitely.
that's something that you really have to know about.
You do, and it's,
And if you don't have other insurance, you have to look into, God, there must be I don't know how many different plans.
there are. It's so difficult, for me as a director, it's so difficult for me to stay on top of all of the plans, all of the changes, and that's why we rely on the Shine counselors.
Yes.
The Shine office that is closest to us is out of the Milford Senior Center. They are phenomenal, and they've been there through this whole shutdown. I have the number, and you can just call them directly, and they'll walk you through it over
And
the
some
phone.
of these plans are tied to income,
Exactly.
some are not.
Yep.
Some of them give you extra coverage, like dental and
Right.
eye care. See, I have insurance. When I retired, my company continued to
Had
give
a
me
plan.
insurance
Mhm.
on a plan.
That's
When I
wonderful.
turned 65, of course, but they don't cover, they didn't cover dental and
The
eye
extra.
care when I retired. I can't get it because I have that insurance,
Right.
and you can't drop it.
And you can't drop it. No.
No, you
No.
don't realize
So you're,
those things are all there. And the reason you can't drop it, because one thing, they love being partnered with Medicare because they're not gonna pay as much.
right. And they know they're gonna get the money from Medicare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's-
Definitely.
But these are all things you really need to know as a senior and should know what's available to you.
Definitely.
The Meals on Wheels, if you're alone, and God, it should be, no senior should be going hungry in
No.
town Northbridge.
No, not, I was gonna say, not in our community, not in Central Mass, not in Massachusetts.
Right.
No. Or our country, really.
And if you are, it's because you're not aware of what's going on, you're not
Then
signing
it
up.
must be other things going on.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
because the things are available, you just gotta go and take them.
There's a lot of pride.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people that are afraid to ask, don't wanna bother. But I tell people, this is my job, bother me. This
right.
is what I'm
and-
here
and
for.
It's there for you, it
Right.
was allocated, back when you were younger and paying a lot of taxes, you were helping someone else.
Exactly.
Now it's your
Your
turn.
turn.
We're paying you back.
Correct. Yes.
They'll say, I don't mind taking Social Security, I paid it all those years. Absolutely right, you did, you
That's
paid it.
right.
You and your employer.
Yeah.
Well, you don't mind taking that because you figured you'd pay for it, well, you also pay for these other things.
Exactly.
But, now it's your turn to collect.
It sure is. Yes.
And especially going into winter now, the fuel have you heard any more about, sometimes the fuel program gets cut
They just released some documentation to me, which tells me that the program is still going to proceed. Next Thursday, I have a virtual meeting with the
Yeah.
program director. She'll meet with all the area intake sites. So the Northbridge Senior Center is an intake site. And I think you and I had talked about that in another show. We don't just take care of seniors. We also take care of families,
Oh, okay,
younger
so,
folks that qualify.
yeah,
So anybody that feels that, and even if they're not sure if they don't qualify, call us at the senior center, and we can let you know what the income guidelines are.
you know, in some cases, I know, when I owned the sixth family, I paid for the oil.
Mhm.
But if I had someone living there that could get fuel assistance,
Yes,
I could get compensated.
absolutely, yes.
So, you know, if you are living in an apartment,
And even if heat is included, if it is,
yeah, if heat is included,
you can be
the landlord's paying for that heat, you can get them
yes,
a rebate on what you use.
right.
And it's not that difficult.
No, the application itself is pretty straightforward. Of course, every situation, every person is different, but for the most part, I think it's pretty simple.
Yeah, and all the suppliers of fuel oil are into the program,
Yes, yeah,
so that's not a problem. Of course, the gas company is,
yes, so,
and that includes electric, if you've got electric heat.
exactly, yes. So National Grid, Eversource, definitely they're
Yeah,
vendors on the program. I would say all of the vendors in our area in terms of oil are affiliated with the program. They're approved vendors.
and the landlord doesn't have to do anything, they handle it all.
No, the only thing is the landlord will get some sort of a release, I think just to prove that
Yes.
this person actually resides there. I think
Right.
that's really what that is all about.
But the oil guys, when I was on it, the oil people actually took the discount for me,
Oh, okay.
so I didn't have to do anything.
You didn't have to do a thing.
Yeah, I had only one tenant out of 6, but it was a little bit of money,
Every little bit helps.
yeah.
Yes. So the people that have been clients of the SMOC program, they have already received their recertifications. So if you're watching tonight and you are a client of SMOC and you received your recertification by mail already, just wait until September 14th, because that's when I will be accepting appointments, and I will be happy to call me during that week, and I'll be happy to get you in, get an appointment scheduled, and we can get those applications out for you.
Very important, especially if you've got electric heat,
Yes,
that's expensive.
it can be really costly.
Yes. And usually if you've got electric heat in an apartment, the tenant's paying it,
Oh, definitely,
yeah.
yes, yeah.
So-
I don't think I'm thinking back now. My outreach worker does the majority of the applications, but now I'm kind of I'm in the interim of outreach workers. My previous outreach worker just resigned,
Oh.
so I'm in the process of, in the hiring process for
Yeah.
a new outreach worker. So I would say we had maybe just a handful of people that had electric.
Right, it's
Mostly
not
it was
that many,
oil.
but there are some out there.
There are some, and you're right, it is costly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so, I mean, believe me, you wanna get in on it. I know, well, aren't the Colonial Drive houses all electric?
They are, but because of where their funding comes from, they don't qualify for the SMOC program, so they don't even apply for it.
Do they pay their own electric there?
It's all included.
Oh, it's all included?
And you know, now that you're saying this, they received a grant or monies from, it must have been a grant. And the Colonial Drive complex had the mini splits put in.
Right.
That have both heating and cooling.
Right. I got those in my house,
Yes,
and it does make a world of difference.
of course, definitely. So I think, but to answer your question, yes, it's all included in their rent. But because of,
I don't know if they metered each unit.
yeah, I don't know.
That's what you can do with electric, you can meter each unit, you can, in an apartment house, you can meter each apartment.
unit, right. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's set up there. I'll have to ask them when I'm up there next time, but, those particular folks do not apply for fuel assistance.
Right, because they're already on a program.
They're already, and they already get, their rent is based on their
No,
income.
that was a good
and-
deal with the grant, the town hall got them
Yes,
on that grant.
exactly. So now they don't have those ugly window units,
Right.
hanging out of
And
our
they're much
beautiful restored,
I know,
Town
and they're
hall.
much more efficient.
of course they are, yes.
I got rid of my window units, thank God.
Yeah. Now you're not lugging them around, having to store
Right,
them. And,
oh my God, I hated
yeah,
that.
yeah, it's awful.
And the older I got, the heavier they got.
Of course, yes, definitely.
But
Yeah.
I have to go up and down the cellar stairs. Now they're all down there, I'll give them away. If you know any elderly person that wouldn't like an air conditioning unit, I'll give it to them.
Oh, yes. I obtained some, about a month ago, and I was able to rehome them. But that's good to know, because, from time to time, we do get calls.
Yeah,
But the other thing with the SMOC program is they have an energy audit department
oh,
that go out to the homes,
yeah,
and they will do an audit on all the appliances. They have a program where they'll actually replace appliances that are outdated, using too much
do
energy.
they pay the full price of the appliance, or it's a rebate?
No, they actually replace.
They
So
give you a new
they give you a
appliance.
new appliance, and they
Oh
take
my
the old one.
God.
Now, it's not top of the line. It's
No,
a
but
very
what the heck?
basic,
I mean,
but really,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's,
Right.
It's a great deal. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty damn good.
So on the application itself, there is a question. It's called Weatherization, and I tell people, whether you're interested or not, check it off. Because if you can have someone come up to your home and do this energy audit,
Yes.
and you can benefit from having, your appliance upgraded, that will save you also
Oh, yes, I get one every 2 years. I think you have to wait 2 years to get an audit.
to do it. Yeah,
And I get one every 2 years.
yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, I've gotten new thermostats.
Yeah.
I got a new refrigerator once.
Yeah,
I had to pay for it, but they gave me a rebate.
I was gonna say, but you got money
Yeah,
as a rebate,
yeah.
right?
I'm-
Yeah.
Well, we bought a nice refrigerator, but
Right.
I wouldn't qualify anyway, because I got some
Right.
income, but, yeah, that's a great thing.
It
'cause-
is.
And if they can knock your bill down even by 10%, if you got $100 a month bill, that's $10.
Exactly. The other thing that I tell people too is once you get on the SMART program as a fuel assistant client, it helps your National Grid, your electric bill, because you become an R2, which is called the low income rate.
Oh, okay,
So you automatically get on that as well. So that helps you throughout the whole year,
yeah,
which is another help.
yeah. No, it all adds up.
It
And-
does.
And it seniors need to know that's out there.
They do, and it's unfortunate for some that come to me either too late or when they do come to me and they'll say, "Geez, I wish I knew about this sooner." So I tell people, if you're on the program, tell your friends about it. They might be, eligible for it.
And regardless of your income, check it out.
Check it out. It doesn't hurt to ask.
Right, it doesn't cost you anything,
Right.
and you might be surprised.
You could be, because I don't have the income guidelines for this year, but for a family of two, which it's pretty high. I mean, it's some folks that think they don't qualify because their income is too high would be surprised.
Well, some people are miraculously working on a small income, and they think it's high because they're getting by with that.
Right.
But that doesn't mean it necessarily is.
No. No.
And, if you own your own home, or you're not paying rent, so if your mortgage is paid off, all you're paying is the taxes on the house and maintenance, well, you think, well, I'm all right. Well, that doesn't mean that you don't qualify.
That's right. And I have many folks that are still in their own homes, mortgage-free,
Yep.
and qualify for the program, and it helps them through the winter months because you know, they're paying a lot for prescriptions now.
Yes.
And the money is, you know, going other places for survival.
Well, that's another thing on a prescription. That Medicare prescription program, you really gotta have someone that knows
You
something.
do.
And
Boy,
you'd
is
never
that
be able to figure it
confusing.
out.
I agree. It is
So,
very,
I mean,
very.
these are all things that, your services you offer.
Yes.
Now, another thing, for seniors, especially if they own their own home, is a reverse mortgage.
Yes.
Now, you offer any information on that?
So I have sources that I can refer
Yeah.
people to. Again, I'm not super savvy on that.
Well, not
and-
yourself, but I'm saying you need to really talk to someone other than the bank or lending unit that's pushing it.
Right. And I have a particular, actually two gentlemen that I've worked with in the past that I trust and that I know that I could refer folks to them, even just to ask the question.
But, I mean, what I can see of it, it's a good program. You know, I mean, number one, if you have no family at all, you might as well get something out of your house.
True.
Yes,
All that equity
all that
you put
equity, yeah,
into
and what are you
it.
gonna do? You leave it behind?
Right.
You can't take equity with you.
No.
So, yeah, it might be a good program.
Yes.
But even if you do have family, look they're not gonna take care of you, they worry about taking care of themselves. Why are you struggling when you could probably
Benefit
live a
from,
decent life, enjoy
be
yourself,
comfortable.
be comfortable, and get back what you paid all those years on that mortgage?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, I think people look at it that, you know, if you see the ads, and I forget his name now, but the idea is not for the bank to get your house. It isn't.
No.
The program is to give you money to keep you going and to use the equity in your home without having to pay it back.
Right.
And then when you go, either someone's gonna pay it back by purchasing the house.
Mm-hmm.
If an heir wants it, they can pay it off.
That's right.
Or it'll be sold by the bank.
That's right.
And people are doing it all the time.
And if you're in good health or fairly good health and can remain independent, it makes
Yeah.
sense.
And if you do get sick, you might need the money for
That's true.
for
your
AIDS.
care. Yeah.
Have someone come in, things like that.
Sure.
Yeah, you can still live in your home,
And you can still remain in your own home.
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and some people, you know, I would say a person all by themselves, their mate is gone, died,
Mm-hmm.
they have no, hell, take the money and travel.
If you can, do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
enjoy life.
Yes. Yeah. After the pandemic, of course.
Yeah, I know, oh my God,
Oh,
we can only go to New Hampshire right now.
right. We're very limited in where we
Yeah.
can go.
We can't even go to, you can't
We
even
can go to Rhode Island.
Island.
No. How does that work for people that work in Massachusetts? I wondered that question.
Well, I've seen people from out of state.
Oh, I see Rhode Island plates all the time.
Yeah,
Yes.
just go to Walmart.
Yes.
They're up here beating the sales tax.
Right, right.
Because there's a big Walmart in North Smithfield.
Oh, there is, yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
just
Yeah.
outside of Woonsocket. They wanted to build it in Woonsocket. Woonsocket said no, so they built it in North Smithfield, right on the line.
Right. Oh, that's,
But you pay sales tax on everything in Rhode Island.
oh, yes.
But you don't pay sales tax on food in Mass or clothing.
Right.
So they come
So
up
they
here.
come here. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, I mean, Mass is not restricting like as much as Rhode Island. Rhode Island, it's actually writing people up.
Are they? Wow.
From what I've been told, yeah.
So are they, is there like, how are they monitoring that? Through
What?
the Easy
They'll
Pass?
pull you
or-
over, if they see you
Oh, they
quit.
just pull you over?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But so that's exhausting, you know, the policeman having to do this additional.
It's taken away, yeah.
Yeah,
Not to mention the fact that they're gonna be dealing with a very irate person.
that too.
And what are they doing to the businesses?
Businesses are hurting.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
Linda and I we like to get down to Newport.
Mhm.
Can't go this year.
No.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people that'd like to go to Newport. Well, Newport relies on tourism.
Of course. Yes.
And they're not gonna get that this year. Well, Wright's Farm, we like to get it. I went down before they stopped us.
Right.
I went down and they have the meals to go now.
I was gonna say, was it takeout? Yeah.
Yeah, have takeout.
Yeah.
You go down, you call them on the phone, tell them what you want, and they bring it right out to you.
Oh, wow.
And I went down a couple of times, but now I can't do
Yeah,
that.
you can't even do that.
I mean, we got several restaurants in Woonsocket we'd like to go to, can't go to them.
No.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I guess if you go to Maine, you're all set, if you get a COVID certificate.
Yes. What I've been told is if you get tested and get the certificate.
Within 72 hours.
Yes, then you are cleared
Yeah,
to cross the border.
yeah. I got tested in May, so it doesn't count anymore.
Right, yeah, you'd have to go again.
You have to go again. And there again now, that's another problem because if you go to CVS, they're gonna charge you. What's his name? Reliant is doing it,
Oh, right, yes.
but they're gonna charge you.
Of course.
I don't know about Milford,
I don't know if Milford is charging. I'm not sure.
but at one point, the president said the test would be free.
Yes,
Well, why are these people charging?
exactly. Someone's still making a profit on.
Yeah, because I know there are places that are free, but you gotta find out who
You
they
have to
are
find out where the sites are.
and line them up.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
it's just like, well, the flu shot, you see them advertised for free,
right,
but I think that's if you got insurance.
yes.
If you're over 65, obviously Medicare pays for it.
Medicare pays for it, yes. But I think, so that was a question that was just brought to my attention by a senior in town asking, because we normally have a flu clinic at our
Yeah, you won't be
center.
able to do that, will you?
So, well, I think we are. So I reached
Oh.
out to the Board of Health, and the reply I received was, yes, we will be offering a flu clinic. However, it'll probably be set up very differently. It could even almost be like a drive-through.
Oh.
So, you know,
Yeah, reach in the
like
car
I said,
window and give you a shot?
just put your arm out.
Put your arm out, yeah.
Put your window down, put your arm out. So again, everything that we do, we have to rethink everything.
Yeah,
So it'll be interesting. But it looks like that we will still continue to offer the flu clinic.
oh, okay.
And
well,
that's for
good.
all ages too. We don't restrict just to seniors. We do for
Oh, anyone?
anyone. Yep, 6 months and older, I believe, is the age.
Oh, okay,
So-
and there's no charge.
There's no charge. No.
Right, that's funded by the state, isn't it?
So in collaboration with the state and
And the federal government.
the Salmon VNA also does a portion of that, but I don't know where they're
It
with
must
that
be federal funds or
funding.
something.
Yeah, yeah.
I know the COVID, what do you call it, the COVID vaccination, they said will be free.
Oh,
And the federal government has already purchased the virus, the serum.
okay.
It's just a matter of coming up with it. They've
Producing.
made the request.
So they've approved for.
Well, they haven't approved any of them
Oh,
yet.
okay. All right.
But they
think they
the
have-
purchase has been made. The money
Okay.
has been sent to the drug companies to make a certain amount.
Okay.
So that's how it would be paid for.
Okay.
But my concern is, I don't want to get it.
A lot of people are saying that.
I don't want to get the flu virus, the flu shot.
I know.
The last time, the last time I got the flu was when I got the flu shot. Now, I know what the problem is. They don't know what the strain is going to be till it gets here.
Exactly.
So they give you a shot, and it may not be one that
That-
handles that strain.
Correct.
But my feeling is I've weakened my body now with that
With
shot,
this other.
with the other, and now when it comes along, it's easier to attack
Right,
me.
it's gonna say, welcome aboard.
Whereas
Yeah,
if I keep
yeah.
up my regular way of keeping myself healthy by vitamin D and multivitamin and making sure I stay healthy and eat right and get a lot of sleep, I had the flu.
Right, I know. You have your own, vaccination for yourself. You just
Yeah.
know how your body
Right.
and you know what the right thing to do is. And so And that's the other thing now that they're mandating, our state is mandating for students to
I
all have the
know.
flu shot. A lot of parents are
What are the college kids?
upset.
Yeah, because well, how can you should not make people get a shot. You know, I don't think we should make kids get vaccinated if the parents don't feel they should.
Right,
And, you know, I know it's eliminated a lot of disease. We don't hear about polio anymore.
true, yes,
I mean, smallpox is virtually gone.
right.
But
Chickenpox is gone.
chickenpox, yes. But now a lot of these are coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You do hear some, like mumps, measles.
Yes.
You do hear kind of some rare cases that
but then we have an epidemic of autism, and it says that can be related to
it's
always.
related. That's interesting.
Well, that's
It
one of the
makes you
things that's
wonder.
been made. Nothing has been proven.
Right, but there's a question of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is that when you go for these vaccinations now, they're giving them to you all at once.
Right,
When I was a kid, I hated to see them come, but the doctor came 3 or 4 times because you got one for this, one for that. And,
here, there,
yeah,
and your
and then
leg.
you get the booster shot.
Exactly.
And, but
Yeah,
now they make it more efficient. They give it to you right away,
right.
and they're giving you multiple injections. God, that's gotta, the immune system's gotta be going crazy.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're inundating me with all these germs.
exactly. Oh,
But, I mean, so, the medical community does a great job, but you have to question something
you
sometimes.
do, and you hate to force people into doing something that they don't want to do, and so
Right.
it will be interesting as time goes on how that debate will play out.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, it's gonna be interesting if they come up with that vaccine at the time that you're getting the flu shots, are you gonna get both at the same time?
right.
I don't think that's a good idea,
No,
because the flu virus is a corona-type virus,
well,
too.
that's the thing. The symptoms of the flu are very similar to the symptoms
Yes.
of this COVID, and so it's going to be hard to differentiate what's what.
Yeah.
And
That's why they really need a test to be able to break it down and say, okay, like with the flu, they really don't have a test for the flu.
no, because as you said,
Too many different strains.
the shot that you might get is not necessarily
Right.
the strain that's coming out. They just kind of wing, they wing it.
Yeah, and if you go to the doctor and you got you're vomiting, you got diarrhea, you got a fever, and
Right.
you got a lot of flu symptoms, go home, drink a lot of liquids. That happened to me. I went to, I won't mention the doctor's name, but he's deceased now. But anyway, I went to him, he said, oh, you got the flu. Well, 3 days later, Linda took me to the hospital. I had pneumonia.
Oh wow.
I'd gone delirious.
Oh no.
So, see, I had pneumonia at the time, but
And
he
you
considered
had
it
it.
the flu.
But he just pushed it off as
So that's what I'm saying, you don't know, and
Yeah.
a lot of times they're rushing you through.
Yes. Yeah. It is the case. Yeah.
And that's something I have to worry about. Once you've got pneumonia, you have to worry about getting it again.
And is there a shot for pneumonia now?
Yes,
too?
I get that. I do
Yes.
take that one.
Yes.
Dr. Paul, you gotta take it. You had
You
pneumonia.
had it, so you need to
Yeah.
protect yourself. And then
But that's right on pneumonia, so, I mean, that's
I was
geared
gonna
to
say,
it.
but that is like right on, right?
Yes.
There's no question
Right.
about
The flu virus can be
the
any
flu is
kind
so
of, yeah.
willy-nilly.
There's
It's-
new strains, there's
yeah.
old strains, they come back.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you have the flu shot and then you got the flu. Well, yeah, well, okay. Well, you got a different strain.
Right.
Oh, gee.
I
Well,
know.
why'd I bother getting the
Why
flu
did
shot?
I-
I was gonna get it anyway.
I know. It's all so difficult. It really is.
I think what people gotta learn is, like I said, plenty of rest, eat right, take vitamins. Don't have to go wild on it, but it's a good idea. Wintertime, you increase your vitamin D intake because you're not gonna get a
'Cause
lot
you're
of
not
it.
outside
You're not gonna
as
get the
much.
sun.
Yeah, good point.
And especially elderly don't get a lot of sun in a lot of cases because they don't go out that much. I think more so now. I
I
think
was
we're,
gonna say, and more so now.
but
yeah.
the thing is, you got to you got to do things naturally as much as possible.
Definitely, yep. I say outside, for my folks that are at home and you're not going far, go outside for at least an hour each day, at least.
Walk around the house a few
Just-
times.
Exactly, walk around, just sit
Yep.
outside.
Yep.
It's beautiful right now. The air is great. I guess it's gonna change for the weekend, but, you know, just get some of that, as you said, that vitamin D is so important, and,
Oh my God! And you build it up over the summer, you'll have it for the winter.
right.
But you can take a vitamin D supplement pill.
Yes, and I have many folks that do take that. So my question is, I wonder if do you cut back?
I cut back in the summer.
summer? Yeah,
Increase in the winter.
right, that makes
Of
sense.
course, we don't have as much sun.
Right,
The days are shorter, so
yes,
you're not out there in the sun manufacturing it naturally.
right,
And, you know, they say vitamin C, but vitamin D actually enhances the immune system.
right,
So that helps your immune system fight it. Vitamin C will actually fight off the germs, the bacteria, but,
right,
you know, that's after you get sick. And
yeah,
also it's with defense to a certain extent, but vitamin D is the real,
is the.
the immune, it builds up your immune
It
system.
blocks the, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And, you know, and it doesn't wrong with, you know, I don't wanna be a vitamin nut, that's the worst thing.
right, well, you know, just in moderation, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Well, you get a good multivitamin.
Right,
And, you know, especially, you know, you have the over 50,
yeah,
you have the men's and the women's.
yeah,
So whatever sex you are, make sure you get that one there because you have different needs.
right, different hormones and.
Yeah, different hormones.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so that's a good multi, the vitamin D, and
right,
that's about all you need. And
because as you said, if your diet is really good,
yeah,
you're getting the rest of those supplements through your diet.
another thing I do, if I feel the cold coming on, the minute you feel it coming on, you can
Yeah.
kind of tell.
Yeah,
Zinc.
oh, yeah,
And you can do that with the lozenges.
rice, right, yeah,
And the thing is that you really won't overdo it.
right,
Because whatever you don't use, your body will reject.
mhm,
'Cause zinc also, it really helps the immune cells. So little things like this.
it is, yeah, yeah,
If we go back far enough, what did people do 100 years ago? They didn't have all these medications. That's what they had to
No.
do. You had to find natural stuff.
home remedies and,
Yeah.
yeah,
And some of them were really crazy, but
very,
yeah.
but, you know, kudos to them for trying, I
Right.
guess, yeah,
I mean, the Romans used to like to drink lead.
oh, really?
Yeah, I guess
I
it's
don't
got
think
a
I
sweet.
heard that one.
It's
Wow.
a sweet taste. Yeah, it was very common.
And what was the benefit of that?
They liked the taste.
Oh, just the taste?
Yeah,
Oh,
but they didn't know. They probably thought it helped them.
I don't know. Hmm.
You know, they were fascinated by it. And you drank out of pewter, which is lead.
Right,
We wouldn't do that today.
no, we would not, no,
There was a place there was a coffee shop called the Pewter Pot. I don't know if you've ever heard of
oh,
it.
I do, yes,
And they served the coffee in pewter
pewter
pots
little-
and
yes.
in pewter mugs.
yes, yes,
And I used to love that place. But you were drinking in a lead line
Yes.
container.
my grandmother lived in Canton, and there was a pewter pot,
Yeah, there were a number of them around
I
the
don't know if it
Boston
was
area.
Stoughton or Canton. It was in one of the plazas, and we would
Yep.
go there for breakfast. And
Hey, they had great muffins.
yes, they did. Yeah, that
I
was
used to
a
go to
great
one in
spot.
Lexington.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was a great spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
That's
but we
funny.
didn't know any better.
No, we didn't.
And colonials used a lot of pewter.
Yes.
Pewter dinnerware, everything.
Of course. Yeah, but who knew?
Right, that's what I'm saying, you know, fortunately we find things out, and they say the same thing about some of the stuff we do today, but I think we got it down pretty good now.
I think so too. Yeah,
But every now and then you find out something new that says, oh,
can't do
we
that.
have to discontinue that.
Right.
Well, it wasn't, 1978 when we ended the use of lead paint,
Right.
and
Yes.
there again though, I grew up well before that, and my grandfather would actually take lead and melt it and pour it into the paint,
Oh, interesting.
because the reason for the lead in the paint, it helped the paint adhere better.
I was gonna say, would it stay?
Yeah, it stuck, and it lasted longer.
Makes sense.
So, you know, you didn't have to paint as often.
Right.
And in fact, he would scrape down and sometimes put lead first and paint, yeah, on the house.
Wow.
But we never had a problem. You know
No.
why? Because I didn't eat dirt, and I didn't chew on the windowsills.
No, you didn't.
So,
And if you did, that was another issue.
yeah, right. But now you got a problem with houses that still got lead paint in them.
Yeah, yeah, it's an
And
issue.
it can be extremely expensive, and they make it even worse every time. Every year they get more intense on it.
Of course.
When Smart took over some of the housing in Rockdale, they actually shooted the whole house.
Mhm.
And the guys were going in and out with their hazard
Right.
suits on.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, this is gonna cost a
I was
fortune.
gonna say the expense is incredible.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah,
but I think sometimes we go too far.
we probably do. Yeah, but it reminds me when you're saying about things that we used to do. So, me as a kid growing up, we never had car seats. We never
No,
wore seat belts.
right.
You know, it's just all these things that have evolved.
I mean, there were kids that got hurt. There were kids that got killed.
Sure, but we
But-
rode in the back of trucks.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
It was.
If your parents had a station wagon,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like a playroom back there.
Exactly. With the seats that would kinda
Yeah,
flip up so that
Yeah.
you were watching the
yeah,
cars behind you. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Oh.
now we're so conscientious. Remember Subaru came out with a truck that had 2 seats in the back?
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of similar to.
If you own one of them today, you can't have those seats
No,
in there.
you cannot. No. No.
I mean, I think we're too cautious on people not having enough sense.
Right. Common sense, exactly, is
Right.
what it comes down to. Yeah.
You know, if you want to go to that extent, I don't think people should have to wear helmets on motorcycles. We do in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
They don't in New Hampshire.
No, and Rhode
They
Island.
don't in Rhode Island
And Connecticut, right?
or Connecticut.
Yeah.
And they don't have a
Yeah.
problem
Yeah.
because people are conscientious of it.
Right.
And I'm sure some get hurt.
Of course. But some people get hurt when they have a helmet on, too.
Right.
You know, but, yeah.
You know, I mean, now you're gonna have a helmet for a bicycle ride.
Yep.
Never did that. I fell off my bike plenty of times. But you know, I mean, that's, like I say, you know, you just, but I think if you're left to your own, people are smart enough to.
Definitely. Most definitely. But there are some good things that have come, you know,
Right.
over time. It's just, sometimes you wonder if we're too much, but, yeah.
You know, getting back to our subject with elderly though, I mean, you can have a problem because if you've got a person who's got dementia
Mm-hmm.
or Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
they can forget things. They can forget to turn off a burner. You know, a lot of things. I think that's where you got to have some caution.
Definitely. When you start seeing things that are out of the norm, then you have to, it's red flags.
Yeah.
What's going on, you know? Yeah.
Now, how do you
That's hard.
handle someone if they're living alone and they have dementia?
So if I learn of somebody that is showing signs of memory impairment, maybe doing some unsafe things, if I don't know the family or if I don't have a contact, I would reach out to Tri-Valley Elder Services.
Oh, and they'll
And
come in and,
I put a referral into them, and they can actually go out to a home and do a home visit. If
oh,
it's someone at risk, and I feel like it needs to be brought to a different level, I put in a protective service report, and that brings it, again, to a different department within that organization, Tri-Valley, and they will come out and do an investigation And if the person is declared to be unsafe to be in home, then there's a process that they go through, legally go through, to make sure that that person is.
Would they put them in assisted living, or?
It depends. Every situation is different. I've seen some folks be able to stay in their home as long as they get more supports in the home. I've seen some people have to be relocated to a facility. So it depends on the whole.
Yeah, I mean, they don't necessarily have to be in a nursing home because
No.
they don't need medical care. They just need supervision.
Right.
So you could do that with.
There is a way to get those supports at home, definitely. But if it's beyond that and the person is unsafe, completely unsafe, then you do need to look at the alternative options, which can be either assisted living that has a memory care unit or a long-term care facility that can cater to that type of thing.
Yeah, but like some cases, they were able to take care of themselves.
Absolutely. If they're in a routine,
Yeah.
and just maybe just having some monitoring.
Yeah, they need some monitoring so they don't do things like leave the burner on or shut off the furnace.
Forget
or,
to eat.
they forget to eat.
That's a huge thing. Forgetting
Yeah.
to eat, not having, having maybe meals come to the home, but having them build up in the refrigerator, and we've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, like, how do you forget to eat? You get hungry, but no, you won't
If
even,
the
you don't
brain
even notice
isn't-
it, yeah.
If those triggers aren't,
Right,
going the right way, people do forget to eat for days.
yeah,
And drinking too, and that can cause dehydration. Dehydration can cause delirium, so it can be just a whole host of.
yeah, you get worse, you start deteriorate, you start with the dehydration and you just get worse,
Right. But at least with the dehydration, that can be reversed.
yes.
If you get yourself to the hospital and you get the right fluids, you might, you might come back to your baseline, even though you might have some memory issues. You're not going to be.
But then, do they know enough to go to the hospital?
Right, and so that's where,
You need someone to be checking.
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
And my hope is, that we always uncover some folks in our community that are without any services or support. But I have to say, probably in the last few, even over the pandemic, I don't find that we have as many as we used to. It seems like people are getting the help that they need. The majority of our folks, we have so much housing in this town. I shouldn't say so much. We have sufficient for now.
Yeah,
We could always use more. So when people are in that type of a housing, there are eyes that are on them.
right, there's someone, a neighbor, there's someone next door that is
The
keeping.
manager of
The manager of
the
this
facility.
complex.
Yes. I know that through this pandemic, I've been in close contact with all of the housing complexes here in town, and the managers have done a phenomenal job in their own outreach, doing weekly phone calls to all their residents to
Yeah.
make sure everybody is well taken care of.
In some cases, just knock on the door and say hello.
Or they do discover a need, and I tell them, call me. If you can't, if you don't have the resources to figure it out, or if you do have some resources, and I have some resources, let's partner and take
Yes.
care of these people. So that has, out of the whole COVID thing, that support has been wonderful. So I'm thankful for that.
We go back far enough, there was no such thing as a senior center
No.
or senior services.
Mm-mm.
But back then, I think a lot of seniors, we were
They live with
multi-generational families. I know that was quite common, where you had grandmother and grandfather both living in the house with the rest of the family. It was crowded, but everybody got along.
Yeah.
But you don't see it as much anymore.
No.
So it turned out that it works out well that these services are available.
Exactly. And for the younger generations, it is helpful.
Yeah.
People, if it's husband and wife, it's usually both are working. If they have parents that are older, you know, it's hard for them to work, take care of parents, and
Right.
maybe take care of children.
Yeah,
They're stretched in so many ways. So if they can rely on a senior center or an agency like Tri-Valley, then you know, I encourage that because it's only for their benefit.
yeah, I mean, a lot of we go back to the Leave It to Beaver days, mother didn't work.
No,
But today, a lot of women want to be professionals, they want to have their own.
well, they have to for
Well, they
survival.
have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you want to keep, I always felt you could lower your standard of living and still survive,
Oh, sure.
but if you want to be up there with it, you know, but then also, there are rewards to working outside the home,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yes. It's good.
Yeah, and it gets you out.
It does.
I mean, a lot of mothers in the 50s went insane because they never got away.
No.
I mean, a trip to the market was their only time
It was
away.
the social time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I can, you know, I understand that.
Right. Yeah.
And you also gives you a little independence.
It does. Yeah. It's rewarding.
Yeah. No, and this is the future. I don't think it's going to change.
No.
I think now what the change is going to be is a lot of people are going to stay home and work.
That's the change right there.
Yes.
And
it was
figuring
discovered
that-
because of the virus, but people are seeing it works, and
Yeah.
so, you know, they're more and more doing it.
Exactly.
I mean, we didn't have to go out to our meetings anymore.
No. Just do it in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
I know. It's just it's an interesting time.
And the better technology gets, the more this is going to happen.
Oh, I think so too.
Oh,
Yeah. I think this is just the beginning of
oh,
of
absolutely.
a new wave of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
we're gonna break, we're gonna take off because I want to give Aaron a chance to shut it down.
Sure. The only thing if I could quickly
Yes,
mention,
quickly, yes.
So speaking of Tri-Valley, and Tri-Valley is the agency that oversees the towns in the Blackstone Valley. They are offering virtual workshops. So again,
You need
in
a
the comfort
computer.
of your own home, if
Yeah.
you have a device, I think you could even do it from a smartphone.
Yeah, you can do it from a smartphone.
But they're offering this 6-week session of workshops, and it's, let me see if I can read it here without my glasses. The Healthy Living Center of Excellence, My Life, My Health. Sign up today for a free 6-week workshop. And again, it's sponsored by Tri-Valley, and it covers a lot of chronic disease self-management. And for anyone that's living with arthritis, asthma, cancer, COPD, chronic back pain, fatigue syndrome, diabetes, fibromyalgia, high blood pressure, Parkinson's disease, heart disease, stroke, and more. So it helps you they're going to teach you or give you some pointers to eat well, control your pain, start an exercise program, handle stress and relax, increase your energy level. So if you're interested in this wonderful virtual program, give me a call at the Senior Center, and I can give you some more information about how to get connected with that. But I know that it's going to be on your bulletin. It already is.
Yeah.
And I believe that it's posted on your Facebook page, and then I'll share it to mine.
Oh, okay.
But you can certainly call me at the center, 508-234-2002, if you have any additional questions.
Okay, and we'll be back next week, same time, same place, with senior info,
With 2 special guests.
with 2 special guests.
Yes. Yeah. Great.
Okay.
Thanks, Harry.
All right, thank you, Kelly.